He is suggested to be the richest man to ever walk the surface of the earth. He is reputed to be the most illustrious emperor of Mali. He was the grandson of Mansa Abu Bekir. He made a famous pilgrimage to Mecca. The wealth and splendor of gold he displayed and spent ruined the economy of Egypt and the Middle East that it took years to bring it back to normal. This is the story of Mali's greatest emperor, Mansa Kankan Musa. Mansa Kankan Musa succeeded the Keita throne in 1312 AD and died in 1337 AD. During this period, Mali reached the peak of its prosperity and fame. It is worthy of note to bear in mind that Mansa Musa's achievements were built upon the foundations laid by Sundiata Keita, the founder and first emperor of Mali. Although Muslim scholars have tended to play down the solid and lasting contribution of Sundiata because he did not support Islam as a state religion as Mansa Musa did. Nevertheless, Mansa Musa's reign marked the golden age of Mali. His contribution to the prosperity, greatness and fame of Mali were many and varied. Mansa Musa continued the policy of Imperial Expansion set by Sundiata and his predecessors. He made Mali into one of the world's largest empires of that time. He restored the authority of Mali over the Songhai kingdoms of Gao and annexed the great trading center of Timbuktu and Jena. Towards the north, Walata and the Berber cities of Agadez, Arawan, Tichit, Tadmeket, and Takeda were captured and garrisoned. Mali then gained a good control of the northern trans-Saharan trade route to Sidi Massa. In the west, he restored control over the rebellious tributary state of the Kro and brought most of the Tukolo and Wolof areas into the empire. One of Mansa Musa's great achievements was his ability to restore peace and guarantee security in his vast empire through the strengthening of administration. Indeed, he continued Sundiata's system but improved upon it by making it more efficient. There were two systems of administration in the empire. The central system was for the areas of the empire comprising of mainly the Malinke people. There, the king ruled directly and assisted by a cabinet of ministers, many of whom were Muslim scholars. Niamey, the capital, was the seat of the central government. The rest of the empires, made up of conquered peoples, were divided into provinces, each under a governor. The governors were usually local rulers loyal to the emperor. According to Al-Omari, Mali's army under Mansa Musa had strength of about 100,000 men. Of this number, 10,000 were cavalrymen and the rest infantry. But these huge armies and disciplined military officials, the empire was well defended and internal peace and security maintained. Unlike Sundiata's Mali, which mainstays of economy was agriculture, the expansions of Mali boosted its economies tremendously under Mansa Musa. The gold producing areas of Wangara was now part of the empire. Gold was taken to the commercial centers and exchanged for salt, glass, ornaments, spices and brocade brought by Arab merchants from North Africa. The empire's great wealth was derived from the profit of the trans-Saharan gold and slave trade. Mansa Kankan Musa's most astounding contribution to the greatness of Mali was in the realm of Islamic religion and culture. He encouraged Islamic education through the establishment of Quranic schools and compulsory reading of the Quran. On his return from his famous pilgrimage to Mecca, He brought back to Mali Muslim scholars who taught in Islamic schools. Some of these became great centers of learning, like the Sankore University of Timbuktu. Promising students of Mali were sent to seats of learning in Morocco and Egypt to acquire higher education. The highlight of his Islamic scene was his famous pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 to 1326 AD. The wealth and splendor which he displayed on this pilgrimage was a common talk of the Middle East and Europe for many years after. It is said that he had a train of 60,000 courtiers and servants, 80 camels and 500 slaves, all richly dressed and carrying gold worth about $400 billion in today's money. This gold is spent on lavish gifts to rulers and courtiers, and in alms to the poor, and in building mosques wherever he stopped for Friday's prayers. The pilgrimage was of tremendous importance in the history of Mali. It brought fame to Mali in North Africa, the Middle East and Europe, and earned for it a place in the contemporary map of the world, such as Angelino Delca's watch map of 1339. Also, the god of Mali hereafter attracted the attention of the outside world. It was excitement caused by the tales of Mali gold that brought the Portuguese sailors to the coast of West Africa in the 15th century. They were eagerly seeking contact with the land of the mighty Queen Prestagion. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage ruined the economy of many great cities of North Africa and the Middle East, that it takes many years for them to get back on track. At his death in 1337 AD, the Mali Empire stretched from the Atlantic coast in the west to Dundee in the Great Niger Bend in the east, and from the borders of modern Mauritania and southern Algeria in the Sahara to Fouta Djallon in the south. Thanks so much for watching. Kindly click the channel page to see more of African history work we have done over time. Please do ensure to subscribe to our channel, like and add comments. Thanks.